We'll move on to our next session. It's a fireside chat. Uh, Again, exceptional experience sharing that's coming our way. We have got Lars Gehrmann, Head of QIC Digital Venture Partners and Group CDO of Qatar Insurance Group. Lars is the CDO at QIC. He focuses on building and supporting new digital ventures through QIC Digital Venture Partners, DVP. Lars is co-founder of the MENA InsurTech Association. He is also strategic advisor and investor to several digital startups. Welcome, Lars. We also have as the interviewer Milan Naik, founder Goals 101. Goals 101 is a deep tech enterprise company which uses the power of banking transaction and demographics to drive personalization. Welcome, Milan.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I think it's so heartening to see, I've been an insurer for a large part of my life, spent about a decade and a half in the insurance industry. But to see the interest in terms of, building a more progressive insurance business and the whole Insurtech ecosystem kind of thriving, growing, and the interests that are coming through across the entire stakeholders in the chain is super exciting. So must compliment India InsurTech Association for putting together this great event and giving everyone an opportunity to come and talk about what they're doing and how they are creating impact in their respective spaces. Insurtech, as we know, is a single term, but has multiple sort of facets to it. But we won't go there. Lars has already been introduced. So when I was speaking with Lars just a while back and asked him, so how do you want me to introduce you? I realized that he wears multiple hats. So apart from being the chief digital officer of a very, very large insurance group, also runs a venture business. And that apart is the custodian or probably the co-founder of the MENA InsurTech Association. So two big parts that he really wants to talk about is largely the venture side of it. And of course, what the promise MENA has to offer to companies, especially from India, and the opportunity that exists over there as well. So if you are a founder and a purposeful company looking at getting and venturing into the MENA region, I think you couldn't find a better person than Lars, which will touch upon two big aspects which are very dear to any founder or any company, early stage company. One is growth, so how can you enable growth? And number two, give you capital, the fuel, to actually enable that growth as well. So that's what Lars is going to largely focus on. So, Lars, my first question to you is, if you think about InsurTech and specifically in the context of MENA, can you sort of paint a picture, where is it right now? What's the level of adoption? What's the excitement? And what are the underlying kind of, I would say, movements that are happening that in a way can sort of promise a significant growth going forward? So I'd love to hear your thoughts around it.
So, thank you. Thank you for the question and thank you for being here. It's a great pleasure to talk about the MENA region. Let's talk about MENA. What is MENA? It's Middle East and North Africa. There are at least 3 different markets in there, right? It's the Middle East, developed countries, a lot of money and glitzer, right? You have Saudi, where it's its own market, where things are happening right now, and you have North Africa, which is hardcore emerging market. So I think there are 3 markets within the topic of MENA. And this is why when we looked, and I came into the region 2.5 years ago after a stint in Zurich Insurance and Global Headquarters, but I really started with Insurtech in year 2000. And back then, so I think you remember, in 2000, internet came up and was going down, right? We already tried to solve the same things we're trying to solve now. Customer interaction, doing digital back-end, right? So it's unbelievable, 23 years later, and we're still solving the similar areas. Why? Because this is insurance, right? It takes us longer cycles to go through. When I came to the Middle East, I actually discovered the same thing. Yeah? There are a lot of clients, and I think the Indian subcontinent is prominently represented in the Middle East. Yeah? But we have not seen many interesting insurance solutions. So we had a couple of aggregators, we had a couple of insurance companies telling themselves they are Insurtechs, but the innovation side was not really strong. So we found that we as QSC, we have a mission that we have a unit that is called QSC Digital Venture Partners, that we're building our own Insurtechs in areas that are core to our business, and we are investing in Insurtechs in a wider region. And we have found that there are not enough founders there. There are not enough insurance companies that are supporting these kind of activities. Yeah. So we said, hey, what can we do about this? And this is where the MENA InsurTech Association, which is partnering with the Indian InsurTech Association, is coming into play. We have two main things that we do. We have an InsurTech competition, and I invite everybody here to be part of this. We actually want to select what are the best solutions for our MENA region. And then we present them at our annual event, the MENA InsurTech Summit. And we had Vatraya there as sponsors. So we have a couple of Indian companies with us in the summit as well. So we're looking in similar areas that we have seen here in India as well, right? InsurTech means digital propositions for certain market segments. And I think this is important, certain market segments. Right now, it's rather one product fits all. And I don't think that's the right thing, because we have 90% expat community over there. So it's need to be one product for a certain market segment. So we need solutions that are there, and we don't have them yet. And the second area is software. Yeah? In today's world, there is software needed. Yes, we have clever engineers in the Middle East as well, but there are things that we can learn and we can combine. So I think we have InsurTech is both areas, new propositions, and how tech can enable you. On both areas, we're looking for partners. And to closing the loop into your question, hopefully, the role of QSC is doing this. We are the biggest insurer in the Middle East, the biggest in terms of assets, biggest in terms of revenues. We have papers in almost all countries. And through the association, I have partners and papers in countries where we are not present as well. So you need both. Be connected and enabler, because we're talking small markets. Yeah, if you think about just the Middle East, if you take Oman, Qatar, UAE, Bahrain, yeah, Kuwait, we have less people living there than Mumbai has. But 5 or 6 countries, you have 5 or 6 regulations that are different. Right, so actually the first step, you learned it in the previous panel, right, is learning, talking to people and start, right, you need to find the right partner, so it could be us, but through the association, if it's not QSC that I represent, we find you the right partner in the Middle East.
No, it's incredible. I think that, you know, it's amazing so early in the journey or so early in times, you actually sort of, in a way, build a foundation or an ecosystem. So to in a way, enable the ecosystem, right? So all the way from investments, opportunities to kind of grow, working with the group as well and things like that. So I think these are great, you know, inputs for any companies to sort of look at MENA as a market. But if you think about it from an overall opportunity perspective, just the market alone, what should Insurtechs kind of look for? I mean, where do you see the opportunities? Where do you think the market's a bit more evolved into the thinking for even say Insurtechs from India to participate in? So what are those white spaces where you can get started at least?
I don't think there are white spaces. Yeah, that would assume that the people over there don't have seen the white spaces, but there's spaces where we still have a lot of things to do. And we discussed it this morning in the panels that we've seen in the opening speeches. Everything around data. Yeah? Insurance is a data-driven model, right? We have done this hundreds of years before on Excel sheets, not on paper, right? On came Excel, and we're still doing it in Excel. So everything around data is a key topic for us. Building ecosystems are still a challenging area. Why? Because you need to build small ecosystems in different kind of countries. But there are needs that we need to do. And can we connect those ecosystems by different data layers? I think that's the right answer. I think one area where we had a lot of InsurTech participants was the health space. We don't have a strong life insurance area because of Takaful, but we have a strong health insurance area. So in health insurance, it's crying for solutions. It's crying. We are getting data there. We're crying for solution doing things. I think we talked about cyber, or cyber SME even, right? It's like cyber is done still in a very old-fashioned way. Yeah? We invested not in the company you represent, but another one in the States. But I believe SME cyber is, again, a data-driven business. We like this business very much. In an emerging market, you don't do this as just one company. You need a couple of players educating, training the people. So I think most things that I've seen here in India happening could actually work there. Not as because you're coming in and say, I'm the one. No, you have to find the local partners to make it happen. Yeah. But all those white spaces that you see here, we have over there in the Middle East as well.
Right. So Lars, if you say the business, there are, I mean, you break it down to parts from an opportunity perspective. There's, of course, the enterprise business, there's SMEs, and there's a big consumer business. I mean, at the end of the day, at an aggregated level, that's a fairly large population across MENA, right? If you see it. So any companies who's, you know, seeing that space, what's your thoughts around, say, embedded insurances, right? Ability to sort of seamlessly fit into product propositions that are, because consumption is a big consumption market as well, right? How do you align yourself with that consumption story and build a thriving insurance business? What are your thoughts around that? Do you think the market's receptive to some of these opportunities now, or still early days?
Yeah, I think embedded insurance, the hashtag embedded insurance was really hot 2 years ago everywhere else, right? We see it coming here. It is definitely a keyword for us in embedded insurance in the Middle East. Yeah, I don't think that we have a really strong bank distribution channel yet. Yes, the big banks have something, but this is really classic paper-based insurance contract. So embedded insurance makes sense. If you're thinking about the devices, I think there are 2 or 3 providers doing things. So yes, embedded insurance is a key theme. The challenge that we're having is rather a situational challenge. People over there like to own. So if I'm a business owner of a large e-commerce shop, I want to own everything, including the insurance value chain. So for us, it's important to train our audience that no, you better don't own because insurance is complicated, yeah? But you partner. And this is an area where we still have challenges in there. But embedded insurance is one of those areas where we definitely need help in the ecosystem. Just understand it's a highly political environment, so make the steps, step by step.
So Lars is saying that the market's of course already there, but it surely is yet to develop. And education, awareness, being there and staying committed to the market, it's important so that you're always engaging with the relevant people. What's the kind of, I mean, from your standpoint, if a founder were to come into the market, what do you think would be the best levers or approach towards, winning in MENA? If there's a rule book to that, I mean, what would that be?
Look, I'm 2.5 years in the region, so rule book, I don't know. I've seen a couple of cases that worked, yeah? Others that failed. So I think what we just heard in the previous panel, right? Go to the market, listen to the market, find you the right partner to do the first step, yeah? I think what we see in India, it's just a massive market here. You build for scale, and we had a discussion in our summit as well. You need to build for scale here. We cannot build for scale over there, at least not on number scale. We need to scale on regional levels, right? So it's different. We need a different kind of playbook, yeah, which is small, segmented market. So it's rather thinking about your first tier and second tier cities where there are different requirements. Sure. You have to scale in this way. I think this is what works. And finalizing maybe on this question and highlighting what we do. If you want to learn, there are 3 opportunities for you, and this is why I'm here, right? So one, the biggest startup conference in the Middle East is called Insurtechs. Insurtechs is happening in 4 weeks' time in Dubai. In Dubai, the MENA InsurTech Association has an InsurTech pavilion where you can be exposing yourself and be there and learn a little bit on insurance companies and being part of the system. This is one. Second, and this is market intelligence. Second, proposing your solutions. We are running, starting in October again, the MENA InsurTech competition, which is open to everybody. So we're looking for different kind of sectors, for different kind of business areas, for solutions that actually could fit on our markets. In the juries, we have the regional VCs, international VCs, the regional insurance companies, people like me, and a couple of others. So it's really a several months program where we're looking into the very best insurtechs that fit into our region. Apart from getting exposure, it's a learning curve, and then if you're successful in it, we will bring it to the MENA InsurTech Summit, which is something similar to this event. It's a 3-day event, so we have, part of you have been there, a lot of networking opportunity, but we expose the best 20 insurtechs in the summit, and then we have a knowledge conference around it. And out of those 20, where we have selected this year 5 that have been the winners, all 5 received POCs and money to make business. So I think 3 options for you to come in, and obviously the 4th one is just talking to me and see what can be done. But I think summarizing, those are the 3 areas of what we learned in the previous panel. Learn, strategically prepare a market, and actually go into the market by hopefully winning or partnering with us.
Excellent. I think, a lot of food for thought for founders and InsurTech companies over here. I think Lars giving an open invitation to a gateway into MENA. I think, you should probably catch up with Lars, off this event as well. Any questions in the room? I think probably be an opportunity for us to, this is a short 15-minute session. If there's any questions, feel free to, yes, please go on.
Just wanted to understand, so how the SME market is like in the MENA region specifically. Is it very similar to how India is, where you have to really push down the throat the insurance products, or it's different specifically across Middle East versus North Africa as well? And what are the InsurTech space specifically doing to solve for the commercial insurance for SMEs in the region?
A very good question. Yes, we have tons of SMEs. They are different if you look into Dubai, Oman, Qatar, and upcoming Saudi. Middle size, really strong, usually expat management. Yeah, Arabic owner, but expat management. So people that are coming from the outside have seen things. So they're always striving, they're looking for other things. Insurance is not really key priority there yet, but regulation is changing. In all countries, regulation is changing. So all countries want the SMEs to be even better managed, yeah, and managing the risk in a proper way. Regulation helps us to do SME propositions. There are not that many out there. We talked about cyber as one of the upcoming things, but a couple of other SME propositions that work. If you go into North Africa is a different kind of market. Yes, we have SME proposition. We actually invested in a company in Egypt and doing nothing else than SME proposition in Egypt. It's a different kind of need and different kind of how to reach them. So yes, key area of growth, I believe, in the coming years.
Okay, any more questions in the room? Yeah, sure, go on.
If you were, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
So if you were not in MENA, where would you be?
I'm in MENA. That's for me, it's a place to be, really. It's obviously I came from Europe, so I know how to live in different kind of countries. That obviously a little bit bigger, but MENA for me is the place to be because everything is nascent, and we're in the very center of the ecosystem. So we're building the ecosystem with all those fantastic Insurtechs and VC companies behind. It's the place to be for us to grow in the next 5 to 10 years, if not India, because obviously the numbers are here, right? But I think the challenge is over there.
Very lovely. Lars, any more comments from your side? Parting comments, or I think we more or less covered everything, especially from a QIC perspective as well from a MENA InsurTech Association. I think just that's mainly it from our side. And feel free to reach out and speak to Lars once we are done with the session as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.